What is going on, everybody? What is up, all you? Well, you can't even say all you stylists from the back room. Everybody's on the floor doing clients. We're the only two
Except us.
that are up front and center. Is this the end of the day or is this the beginning of the night?
Let's call it beginning of the night.
So I mean, it's just the Christmas season nonstop all day.
It's almost dark here in Illinois, so I mean it's the beginning of the night.
I don't know. It's still 3 degrees outside. That's all I know.
Yeah, it was supposed to warm up. Thank goodness.
Yeah, it's supposed to warm up to 7 degrees.
It was flipping cold this morning, my friend. It was.
Hey, it's winter. Guess what? It happens every year, and yet we are still unprepared.
And we live here, so everybody
lives here.
Yeah, it's only we're here by choice. But so how's your week going there, Big Shoots?
It's going.
Okay.
It's all going. Right. Look, man, it's the holiday rush. This year, I hope everybody else is just as busy behind the chair. And I hope everybody else is just as frazzled, with the holidays, because it's a good year. It's a good year. I'm observing, if Thanksgiving is anything to go by, everybody wants to get back together again. Everybody's starting to, see each other and dreading. It was like, oh, we don't get to see each other anymore. Everybody was all upset about it. Now everybody's all upset. Damn, we have to see each other again.
Right. I was just whining about going somewhere on Christmas Day last night. But
see what I mean?
But what I've really noticed is clients seem more upbeat and positive this season, which really makes me happy.
It's a good thing.
It's cool. It's cool. On the other side of that, though, is their lack of planning does not constitute an emergency on my part.
Yes, it does. Okay. They just found out Christmas is next week. They need their hairs done. Okay.
It's the week after.
Look, it's just a haircut, John. Squeeze them in. It's just a full foil. It's just a 2-hour application. Just squeeze it in.
Do you have time just to put a couple highlights around the front?
Just, you start at 4:00 in the morning. Just come in a little earlier.
Who cares if you've been holding your pee for 2 hours?
This is why I told you. Is it the end of the day or the beginning of the night? When does the day actually ends? Because it never ends. It just is always starting.
Look, last night when I was leaving the shop at about 7, there were still people going strong.
I jokingly, I thought I was joking. I said, oh, I wouldn't be available till midnight. That's really what you want to do? She goes, well, if I have to. I mean, it's not my first choice, but okay. I'm like, wait. Time out. Like, all right, we're doing here at midnight. I don't know.
One of my extension clients calls me this morning. Do you have any time to take them out and put them back in today?
Yeah. Huh? I woke up today and I decided, my hair told me this is when I needed to get my hair done.
Yeah. And she's like, well, and this is the best one. What about Sunday?
Yeah, what about it?
Eddie.
That's what you get for telling everybody you don't go to church no more.
I'm a deeply religious young man.
That's the expression now, right? Isn't that the meme? You need Jesus in your life. Jesus.
So we've got a good episode, even though we're a few hours late from our normal start time.
Oh, you want to know something amazing this week? I'll tell you how amazing this week has been. I just thought about.
Give me amazing.
Sandy from Ohio. She wrote a book.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
It's trending the #1 bestseller in the beauty category on Amazon.
That's awesome.
How about that for an achievement?
That's awesome.
Now, that ain't my achievement. That's Sandy's achievement, but bravo to Sandy. Okay.
So you want to tell everybody what the title is so they can
look it up? It's called Split Ends. Go look it up on Amazon. Read the book. It's her story. It's her story about the industry, and it's just, if for those of you who know anything about Sandy, then you'll understand how powerful this message is and the story is. The ups and downs and the curves that this woman has had to go through in her life and in her career, and she's still standing strong. She's the freaking queen of hair extensions, man.
Yeah. Sandy's awesome.
Like, I think I love doing hair extensions. No, she lives hair extensions. Okay.
Yeah. Check out the book. It's motivational. It is. It's everything across the board. As far as that, I skimmed it. It's actually sitting in the other room right now. I ordered it on Amazon, and I can't wait to dive into it once all of this insanity of the next couple of weeks is over.
So one of the girls at the salon, she goes, she loves her Hallmark movies, right? But then she especially loves her Hallmark movies around the holiday season because it's like double the crazy story. So she's like, Sandy's book is like Hallmark Channel movie, but holiday season edition.
Awesome.
I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah. So guys, check it out on Amazon. It's called Split Ends
By Sandy Donafee.
Sandy's an amazing person, and a talented hairdresser, period. So are you ready for your quiz this week?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So here's my question. Here's your first question. What is Remy hair? Here's your choices. The cuticle is all going in the same direction.
Can Silky Smooth be one of the ends?
It's all the same color, or Eddie says so.
Because I said so. And that's the bottom line. Listen here, brother. Let me tell you something. Oh, man. Jesse the Body Ventura. He's coming back to do commentary.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. Best commentator ever. All right. Those were ridiculous multiple choices. Wait, I think the first one you said it all goes the same direction.
Yes, Remy hair.
Yeah, so it all goes the same direction. That's Remy.
The cuticle is all lined up, and all the cuticle on each hair goes the same direction. You are correct. True or false? Some hair extension companies will strip the hair of the cuticle to say that the hair is Remy. True or false?
That question is so that's such a inaccurate question. Like that question is worded so wrongly. So there are hair extent. Okay. That question is an invalid question, and I need to explain to you why.
Why?
Because the way it's worded is very incorrect. Okay. Fake news. Okay.
Okay.
The hair extension companies have a choice. They either strip the cuticle and then therefore afterwards have to complete the process by putting a coating over the raw hair, over the raw cortex.
Correct.
And sell it as Remy hair, but they don't have to say 100% Remy hair.
Correct.
So the language matters, right?
Yes.
Then there is companies where they actually can sanitize the hair and clean it up and do it correctly, nice, not correctly is not the right way to say it, nicely, and keep the cuticle intact. And then they do get to say 100%, Remy hair.
Right.
Kind of goes back to my joke before was, can we say silky smooth? Can silky smooth be one of the answers? Because a lot of companies, they'll strip the cuticle, they'll put that coating over it, and then they'll advertise it as Remy hair, silky smooth Remy hair, and that whole silky smooth thing is like, oh yeah, feel how shiny, feel how smooth it feels. Look at that. Look how great it is. Human hair is not shiny. If human hair is glowing like a light bulb, Okay, unless this is like the Fallout series. Yeah, that is unless you got nuclear fallout. Your hair should not be shiny.
Well, where I got that question from was a hair extension article, because there's actually a category of hair called cuticle intact hair.
Cuticle intact, yes. Yeah.
So that's that I was leading you to that.
I think there is, I don't know. I just don't like the way that question is worded, because it makes it sound like companies are purposely or maliciously doing something wrong.
No,
it wasn't
not.
Meant
that way. It was not meant that way.
Yeah.
But it's just a way of processing the hair.
Yeah, it's the way it's complicated. Hey, look, we're talking about Remy hair, and the hair all goes the same direction, right?
Right.
So then there is such a thing as a non-Remy hair, and then somebody would say, well, then how does the hair not go all in the same direction? The technology is so freaking amazing now; they can actually put all the hair back together again.
Right.
Or like when they get the bundle of hair, they just slap it down on the belt, and during the manufacturing process,
right,
not all the hairs go in the same direction.
Right.
It's wild. And then what does that mean? Well, non-Remy hair means as soon as that coating wears off, that's instant frizz. That's an instant tangled hot mess. So
yeah,
that's what that should be.
Yeah. So with your hair extensions, pay attention to what the hair is categorized, is what you're saying.
Categorized, yeah.
Yep. Okay, so you ready? What are the 3 layers of the hair? A, the crust, mantle, and the core. Dermis, epidermis, or interior. Or cuticle, cortex, and medulla.
The answer is C, is the third one. But I want it to be like the Earth's. I want it to be like the Earth. Can we just start calling it, the crust and the mantle and the core?
We could do that. We blow.
It just be like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You got the crust on the outside, and then you got the bread, and then you got the gooey ooey goodness in the middle.
The crust, the peanut butter, and the jelly. Yes, you are correct. It is a cuticle, the cortex, and the medulla. I asked that question because I was having a conversation with someone about hair color, and I was talking about what happens in the cortex, and they were looking at me like I had 3 heads, and they're like, "What's the cortex?" And I went, So that led me to that question, because I wanted to see, because you know what? We learn all this stuff in beauty school, and half the stuff goes, and just to see what you remember. Here's another one for you. What is the largest organ in the human body?
Your skin.
Yes, your skin. And do you know that your hair is considered part of your skin? It is, because your hair helps regulate your body temperature and assorted other things. So kind of cool, huh?
It is interesting how from your hairline, like once your hairline starts, it's no longer vellus hair. Like that's the thing that's always blown my mind, is how come this all of a sudden has a cuticle and the rest of your body hair doesn't have a cuticle on it? And that's the only difference between vellus hair and non-vellus hair. And it's like, wait, what? This is like, what, vellus hair? What? And it's like so wild. So wild. Well, science is fun, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, and you really, if you think about it, the lanugo hair, the fine hairs that are always around everybody's hairline, compared to your barbus hair, which is for us men, are on our face and on our arms, it's like 2 different animals, right?
Completely 2 different animals.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, and then you got the medulla, which nobody knows what its purpose is or what it does.
Interesting subject about the medulla that I read, since I dove down a rabbit hole. Do you know that there are some hairs that don't have a medulla? Did you know that?
The only thing I knew about that word was the medulla oblongata.
In your brain?
It's the only thing I know about a medulla. And I still have no idea what the hell that is or what it's for.
Somebody Google it and let Eddie know what the medulla oblongata is. Okay, here's your last question, and this is a fun one.
Okay.
True or false? Hair is dead. It's not alive.
Sheesh, your hair is dead. Why are you insulting me, man? My hair is beautiful. These luscious locks. Okay.
Maybe on your back.
this mane that I have growing in. Okay. What other stupid words do they have for hair?
Well, just go to AI. AI gives you all kinds of great. So true or false? Hair is dead.
I mean, contrary to what a lot of people want to believe, the hair is dead when it grows out. We use hair for cosmetic purposes nowadays, but that's really not the purpose of what hair is. Hair is the byproduct of your body, and it's just excess protein that's getting pushed out the top of your head.
Well, yeah,
you ever seen the Twins movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito?
Yes.
Okay, so the rest of your body is Arnold, right? And then your hair, all the crap that was left over, got put into you. You know? So it's like that is our hair. Our hair is Danny DeVito from Twins.
Well, actually, that's kind of a semi-trick question because your hair is actually alive inside the follicle. It's dead outside the follicle.
That's what I'm talking about. Outside.
Yeah. We're saying the same thing. So
no. No, you got Danny DeVito on your
No, I don't have, I got nothing, man. This is nothing. And there's two squirrels inside here that chase each other around that I get an idea every now and then.
I got you.
So that is your quiz for the week, my friend.
I got you.
So we started talking about it at the beginning of what we're doing today, and we had to do the quiz, but let's talk about surviving this holiday season as a stylist. What are some of the things that you do coming in when you walk in the shop that you don't, maybe this time of year you do that you don't normally do?
Mix myself a drink.
Yeah, but that's just lemonade.
Okay, but at the salon, it's a screwdriver. It's a spiked lemonade at the salon, you know?
You know, I mean, personally, I know, like, going in tomorrow, I start at 8 o'clock, and I'll maybe finish at about 6 tomorrow night. And I know driving
a short day, you lucky guy. You want to switch schedules?
Yeah, let's. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, you can't lead me down that rabbit hole, dude. Because a couple of my clients tomorrow, you sick them on me. But I know driving in
the holidays, I send them to you. Send your clients to somebody else.
I know you giggle. I know you giggle because I then am nice and you are not.
So that's one thing I do differently is I'm magically overbooked and I have no time to do certain people's hair. That's one way of surviving. Another way of surviving is getting the clients, buzzed or drunk, so then they don't notice, what's happening to their hair. Another thing that I do is I triple book instead of double booking. So then this way they really, really feel like it's an assembly line and there's no time to deal with them. So they can't talk too much. Another thing that I do differently is I definitely overtake the conversation. So I don't even talk about anything other than dictating what is happening and what is being talked about.
Right.
And what other jerky thing can I come up with? No, look, surviving the holiday, I don't know, man. Other than the longer hours, it's no different than any other day for me behind the chair. So I don't know. Other than the longer hours, I'm definitely drinking a lot more tea and water just because I'm there longer. Um,
So there's one of the things you got to make sure you hydrate.
oh, hydrating is huge,
You got to make sure
huge.
you hydrate. And you know what, guys? It's okay if you look at your client and go, I'll be back in 2 minutes, and go take care of business in the bathroom. You don't have to stand there and hold it and stand on one leg. Um, I used to work with someone who used to complain all the time,
Mm.
and you gotta be comfortable because you're gonna work better if you're comfortable. I know it's a I don't know, whatever you want to call this subject, but also I really work my attitude driving into work and walking through the door. I get myself amped up because I notice if I'm amped up and positive and really really vibing, then clients get that way too. You know, and then clients they're in a better mood and they're not. It's not, oh, I got to go to my sister-in-law. I don't do that talk with them. We talk about their hair, and I stay as positive as I possibly can be, which as you know, with me sometimes is a struggle. I'm not always positive and a ray of sunshine like you are.
What? No. What?
Because I know nothing but positivity comes out of your mouth.
That's right. I am a walking motivational book.
You are.
I enjoy. You'd be bored without me in your life.
You're like
bored, I tell you.
You're like the Tony Robbins of the hair industry.
Bring it on, baby.
But what I mean, really, there are other, because like you just mentioned, the long hours. So there's other things you do. Make sure you eat.
Dude, you know what? Every client is always like, oh, I'm on a diet. No, I'm watching my calories. Oh, I don't this. Oh, I don't that. I get a cookie tray. Like you could go to a grocery and you know how you get that like cracker platter or whatever? They have cookie platter. Did you know this?
Yes.
So I just discovered this. I don't know how I missed this in the bakery, but they got cookie platter. I'll put it right there on my station. I don't care. And while I'm doing their hair, whenever I get over to that side of the chair, I'll freaking take a bite. I mean, obviously I have napkin and whatever the hand wipey thing is called, but the Purell. Yeah. I'll freaking clean my hands afterwards, but no, I'm stopping to have a cookie. And then I offer the client too. No, it's okay. All right, yeah, sure. Sure as hell. I turn around, I walk away for a couple minutes, I come back and they're chomping away. You can't leave cookie in front of somebody and somebody don't take it. Man, the sheer willpower is astounding to me. So that's another thing so that is something that I do extra during the holiday season is I tease, tempt, and ruin everybody's diet because I have a spread. I have a smorgasbord of cookies all over the place.
You know what? I agree with you on that. I also, to all our fellow stylists, make sure you eat something. Just don't live on coffee and caffeine and for those of you that partake in nicotine, there's nothing wrong with. I mean, we all take bites while we're mixing color back in the mixing room. So make sure you eat, make sure you hydrate, and keep your attitude. Keep a good attitude about the whole thing, because sooner or later January comes, and then comes the reverse. It's so slow. Yeah, everybody jammed in 3 weeks on you. Of course, it's going to be a little bit slower in January, and that's why January is a time for you to really look and plan out your year and your education and all of that. Absolutely, 100%. So with that being said, with the holiday season, how much hair extensions are you doing?
A lot. I just did one last night too. Man, last night I can't explain this one to me. I felt like I was dragging. I did a whole head in an hour and a half. But I was like, I kept double checking the time to make sure it really was only an hour and a half.
Right.
Because in my mind, I was like, man, I am just dragging my feet. I can't, like, this is taking forever. My back is killing me. I'm exhausted. And I'm like, I'm looking at the clock and I'm going, there's no way. There's just no way. This makes no sense. I started at 16:30. It was 18. Like, how? How? And I'm looking at like, is it really 1800? And everybody's looking at me. It's 18 what? I'm like, is it really? What's the time right now? Is it really 1800? And everyone's like, I don't know what time that means. I'm like, all right. I'm like, oh my God. But yeah, no, hour and a half. You ever run into that?
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, it's funny that you went through that
Can you
yesterday.
explain that?
You know what? You were in the moment. Everything was firing on all cylinders. I had the same thing happen yesterday
in my mind in slow motion.
Yeah.
Because I must have been moving at a steady clip, but in my mind, I'm like, whoa, this is dragging.
Yeah, your brain went into neutral but your hands were staying, Hey, I did with extensions yesterday with the new on stage ultra left.
Ooh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. And with the ultra left, and I did, let's see, 1, 2. I think I broke the left up into 6 pieces. So 6-piece application, which was a full head. I did that in under an hour. With of course knowing how I was going to map it out ahead of time.
Yeah, sure.
Because it was a reinstall. We took her old ones out, and she got 4 reinstalls out of it. Because she babies her extensions like crazy. She's the model hair extension client, everything that, I bought this for, like you said, and I did this, but anyway, yeah, I cranked it out. I did her color, then we dried her, and then we put the extensions in, and it was like, start to finish, maybe 2 hours. I actually had time to sit down for 5 minutes and clean up, with the ultra left. Speaking of the ultra left, what do you call it? The top, what is that? Top band, that band in it that
the track part, yeah.
Yeah, the top track. Wow. They cut it is it like in half or is it in thirds? Is it a third smaller?
If you're comparing it directly to the classic weft, like what everybody's used to been seeing, because the ultra wefts are new from on stage.
Yeah.
So if you're comparing it to the current on-stage weft, what everybody's used to, that track area is pretty damn small to begin with. But the ultra weft, yeah, they've been able to go half the size.
That's so awesome.
It's even got a smaller imprint onto the head, onto the scalp.
It lays so flat. It was,
yeah.
It was truly, it was so cool. And the flexibility of it, it laid right against the bend of her head. It was awesome. It was so cool.
Well, that's the other thing is, yeah, because they've got a track on both sides now. It's not just on one side. It's right. You got hair on both sides, so you never see where the bead is. And it's just one of the big requests that have been coming in from a lot of users is because there's this unspoken rule about hair extensions. Well, it's not an unspoken rule. It actually is a rule. You're not supposed to lift your hair up. Like if you apply the extension here, you're not supposed to pull your hair up into a bun and over direct that extension above natural fall. If you put the extension here, it's got to fall down this way. You should have it as a low ponytail or a swept ponytail, but you should never be pulling it high up over. Now, what you shouldn't be doing versus in reality, what a lot of people do, you can't control what people do. And unfortunately, a lot of people do pull their hair up into high buns or ponytails. So it exposes the underside of the track, which then would show through the beads.
Right.
if you're not styling it nicely. And especially if you're grown out and you're ready for your touch-up application, like you're ready to come in, yeah, then it'll start showing through because the hair shifts and all of that. But with the ultra weft, because now you got the hair on both sides of the track, those beads are completely hidden, regardless of if you pull it up or pull it up a little higher than you should be doing and stuff like that. The other nice thing about it is because it's got the hair on both sides, it does make it more flexible. And when you go on stage in general, the nice thing about their wefts is that you can cut them down and make them smaller.
Right.
So especially if you have somebody who was used to getting tape-in extensions, you could take one weft, which is a 12-inch wide track, you can cut them down smaller and you can get 8 individual pieces, okay? The reason why that's important is because you could literally say it's the equivalent of 8 sandwiches if you're talking about tape-in extensions.
Right.
A lot of people, what they'll do is they'll take a piece of tape extension, they'll take a second piece of tape extension, they'll take the natural hair in between and they'll put the two together. That's what they refer to as a sandwich.
Right.
So you're talking about the equivalent. So from one onstage weft, which is a 12-inch long track, you can cut it up into 8 even pieces. You would get the equivalent of 16 tape extensions.
How cool!
And then if you sandwich them together, that would be 8 sandwiches.
Right.
It's so much easier, and it's a lot of more hair than a sandwiched piece of hair. So that's one very creative way that I introduce the weft to people. Another way, like you mentioned, a lot of people don't have a big old dome. So a lot of people have a smaller head.
Right.
Or not everybody's hair, shifts the same from one side to the other. So you can cut it in half, like you were mentioning earlier. True. Then you put a half track on one side and the other half track on the opposite side, and then you could reposition and adjust as you need to as well.
Right.
I've had a girl, her head was so small, John. By the time I cut the weft in half, it went all the way around to the sides. Like I had to get a pack of strands just to fill in a couple of pieces on the front.
Right.
There was no more room to put anything. Her head was that small. So the weft cut in half was small, was like came to like right here, basically. So I had to fill in a couple of more pieces right around the hairline,
Sure.
And then everyone's like, well, why don't you just cut the weft a little bit larger? Her head was so tiny and the front of her head was so like, can you imagine the amount of real estate? If you go from the top of the head to the top of the ear, and then you leave out a little bit of the hairline, you leave out the sideburn, you leave out the front hairline as well too. And then you don't go above the parietal, you don't go above the round of the head. You have like this much space. You have like a square that much space.
Right.
You throw in a couple of strands, call it a day. It's not even worth trying to jam the weft in that little area, in that little real estate.
Now, my question for you, especially because you are a little more knowledgeable with on stage than I am. Are there? And I didn't look. I ordered when I saw the ultra weft being me. I just went, yes, I bought it. Are there strands? Are there ultra weft strands?
Well, the strands are already because the strands are already like that. The beads on the strands are smaller beads.
Okay.
The beads on the weft are already smaller beads compared to other brands.
Yeah, I know that. But
because on average, the smallest average bead out there is like 3 millimeters, but the onstage beads are 2 millimeters. They're already a size smaller than the average small.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
The beaded strands are 1.5. They're 1.5 millimeters. So they're even smaller than the wefts. So by the time you got the ring, that the hair is attached to, the bead is already hidden in there anyways.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's cool. I will be singing the praises of, because it looked amazing when we were done. And she was like, this is worth every penny, and and I'm like, thank you, God. But
when you go to take them out, the beads are so hidden in there. You kind of like have to just trust that that you're undoing the bead. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting there parting all the hair out of the way trying to find it, you know?
And that with on stage, me personally, I love the removal because it is just, you know, and then I just, you know, when you just slide the whole weft out, they just go, wow, you know.
Do you,
It's
when you're
very
popping
cool.
the beads out, do you take the beads out one by one?
No, I'll flip. I will actually flip the weft up, pin it, and then I just go through and loosen them all so I can do the full slide.
So then do you let all the beads like drop all over the floor?
Absolutely.
It's like Skittles on the floor. It's hilarious. I love that sound.
It is very satisfying to me to watch all those beads hit the floor. Yeah, I got to sweep them up, but I don't care. I don't care.
It's so worth it. I love that sound so much.
It's so cool. It's so cool. Bouncing off the back of my chair and stuff. It's fantastic. You know,
Hair extensions are fun, man.
dude, and the on stage ones, man, they it just makes life so easy for someone like me, who, you know, I remember you kicking me left and right when you trained me with the bonds because I just couldn't get the fold right, and it took me forever.
Look, it's no secret that keratin bonds are my favorite system of hair extensions.
Right.
But I'll tell you, when it comes to beaded system, the Onstage brand is my favorite go-to brand for the beaded system. Okay.
By far.
And I believe it is the easiest entry into the world of hair extensions.
100. Look, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
You struggled a lot, but look at you now, man. You're kicking butt with it.
Yeah. If I like I said, it just made there's that for me personally, there's that mechanical part of my brain, and this is a very mechanical application. And it just made sense to me to where, I struggled hard with bonds, and that's why still, if it's a big bond job, I give them your phone number. I might tell them, call my buddy Eddie. Eddie is a wizard with the bonds, because
I do love the bonds.
I've seen you do things that I would just go, no, get a wig. So, and if any of you in Illinois have a client that you don't want to do bonds on, have them call Eddie at HTB Beauty.
I'm shaking my head because I do get phone calls. You keep saying that, and people are actually calling.
Well, that's because I put your name out there on the internet too, a couple of the message boards that people.
Oh, is that how that started?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
It's always awkward. I'm like, yes, I'm Eddie. Yes, I do hair extensions. Wait, who are you? Who do you work for? How do you know this information?
What kind of friend would I be if I didn't help build your business?
You can't. I mean, I guess nowadays it's not a thing, but once upon a time, I guess, is putting your name out there on social media the equivalent of writing your name and your number on the bathroom stall somewhere?
Actually,
for like our generation of growing up.
Back in the day, and I used to have whatever female that I was dating or take my business card, leave a couple of them on the vanity inside of the bathroom in
that's genius.
Yeah.
That's genius.
I mean, I got a couple phone calls, and you know the story of how I almost got sued by Jewel, right? Right across from my old salon, guys.
I love this story so much.
Right across from, I'm young hairdresser, I'm trying to build my business. They build a Jewel right across from my salon.
And for those of you that don't know a Jewel, it's a grocery store.
Yeah, it's a grocery store. Sorry. And so I'm a young new colorist, and I'm at the Jewel, and I carry my business cards with me all the time. I'm at the Jewel, and I wander down the hair aisle, and I see all these boxes of hair color. So I start sliding my business cards into the boxes of hair color. I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was a genius idea. I was like, wow, yeah, it's pretty good. Well, then the salon gets a letter from the grocery store's legal
From legal
department.
department.
Basically, it was a cease and desist letter, and my owner and I had a nice long talk. He did give me kudos on the ingenuity part of it, but well, just like you went to every store inside the strip mall that your salon was in and gave them your cards.
No, I used to get my younger brother, because my younger brother was a jock. So I'd always get him and his friends on his team. I'd buy them pizza, and I would go get flyers printed, and I'd make them run around the parking lots and just put flyers for the salon on everybody's windshield wipers. And then I got so bold, I got really mad at one of the bigger, very well-known bigger salons in the area. There was one about a half a mile down the road. I made my brother and his friends go to that shop and put the flyers on the clients' vehicles, except the kids, they didn't know the difference between, the front of the salon and the back of the
Well, they
salon.
just did the whole parking lot. Screw it.
Oh, they blanketed the whole thing. So of course they went and put it on some of the employees' windshields, and they put it on the owner's windshield.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
You know what? I bought that kid an extra pizza that night because the phone call I got. Oh, the phone call I got. I wish recording was a thing back then, because I would have loved to have saved that that conversation. The owner was so upset. So upset.
See, when I tell trainees that story, I wish I kept a copy of that letter, because that would have been fantastic. I would have framed it and put it up in my office.
I would have put it on the station for all the clients to see too.
But and just touching on that real quick though is you can market yourself so many different ways, and especially now with social media. Now you've got to get creative with social media, because everybody's posting pictures. Everybody and their mother is posting pictures on their Insta and this and that and this and that. You got to get creative. You got to be creative. And it's cool. That's the best part about what we do, though. Really, if you really think about it, is you control your own destiny. How busy you want to be, you can be that busy. Just depends on the effort you put into it, right?
It's true. Maximum effort.
Maximum effort. What am I supposed to say? Okay now? Okay. So, with that being said, if you specialize in hair extensions, why not put that on, put that out there that you do hair extensions? And especially if you do something like the beaded wefts, like the on-stage beaded wefts, why not say you are an on-stage beaded weft certified extension specialist, or something along those lines? Or, toot your horn, guys. You have to toot your horn. Your clients are going to do, the clients that love you are going to do it, but you've got to pat yourself on the back too. You go to the classes, you get the certifications, you earn all your accolades. Why not say, hey, yeah, I'm this, put maximum effort on your business card.
If I'm the Tony Robinson of motivation, can you be the Richard Simmons of motivation?
Dude, I know.
Richard Simmons is awesome. What are you talking about? Look at you. You got me all worked up. I want to go run a mile now just listening to you.
I'm not Richard Simmons.
Why not?
Here. I'm taller than he was. To begin with.
Both of you had the same curls.
What curls?
Curly hair. He had curly hair.
Yeah. And what hello?
When you had past tense had
pin straight hair, I would have had the perfect Beatles haircut.
Oh, you didn't have the Italian fro? You didn't have the Italian curls?
No.
My bad. I thought you did. Okay.
No. My hair is pin flipping straight.
Okay.
in the 80s, I had the bad Billy Ray Cyrus mullet where I used to perm the back of it
That's awesome.
because it was so straight and so it just looked you had to I permed it. Oh my god, did I look like
That's
my
awesome.
kids, I find pictures of my kids see it now and they just laugh. They go, God, Dad, you're such a nerd. We thought we looked good back then, though. Yeah, we did.
I tell you.
So,
hey, is next week the wifey episode?
Next week is the wifey episode, guys. We are gonna introduce you to the poor women that tolerate both of us.
We say this a lot, and we get this a lot. Everyone's like, "Oh, you guys are so much fun! Oh my god, you guys!" Like, no, and we've said this before, and we say this a lot. This is it. What you see is what you get. This is us. We don't turn this on or turn this off.
No.
I wish we were like the Over the Top movie and I could just turn my hat around like a switch. But no, this is it all day, every day.
No. And just to clue you in on this, this conversation that goes on every week with me and him is usually 2 or 3 times a day, too. Okay? And there are times where you and I are going on and on and on, and Aaron will come around the corner and look at me and just go, "You're a moron." The two of you are so dumb, But
you know what? It takes a special type of person to be able to deal with our level of energy.
You know what? From your mouth, I can't agree with you more. And I'm not kissing my, Aaron and I have been together forever. So she is probably one of the most patient, tolerant persons that deals with my shenanigans.
Not patient with me. I push her buttons. I know how to push her buttons.
we just can't get into it. The story of the first time she met you.
But so everybody asks us about our better halves all the time.
Right.
Why not share it with everybody?
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to do next week. We're going to have them on. So if you have any questions for them, put them in the comments this week. By next week, we will ask.
We'll ask answers. We'll ask them. We're going to have a list of questions for them. They're actually going to do the quiz with Eddie.
Unbeknownst to them.
Because neither one of them watch this. So,
so funny.
But yeah, we're gonna give you guys a preview, give you a view of like we said, the poor women that deal with us, our other halves. So with that being said, oh my God, look at this, almost 50 minutes. We're going on and on. Are you ready for your motivation for the week?
I love the motivation.
Okay, and this is brought to us by Confucius.
Confucius say,
yes. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior.
It's very true. It's very true. You gotta like the person looking back at you in the mirror. That's the biggest. What was it? He who conquers himself
is the mightiest warrior.
Mightiest warrior. You are your biggest enemy. You are your largest hurdle.
Right.
I love it.
Yeah. And that falls under so many categories for everybody. We could spend another hour talking about it. But just remember, if you are good with yourself and everything you do, you're going to win. It's a win. It's a win-win situation. We all know what our shortcomings are, and overcoming them, choosing to overcome them instead of embrace your shortcomings, is the biggest win.
You know how you start? Eliminate the words "I'm sorry" and "I can't" from your vocabulary. The day I stopped apologizing for the sake of apologizing.
Right.
And the day I stopped saying I can't, was life changing.
Yep.
Was so life changing.
Yep.
For two reasons. When I stopped apologizing, people got extra mad at me, especially when things were my fault. And because I refuse to apologize for anything anymore, it's hard to correct wrongs when I do wrong. But I refuse to apologize. Yeah, you've seen it. You've seen those interactions. You see how awkward things get when I'm involved. When somebody, it could so easily be fixed in a half a second. All I would have to do is say, "I'm sorry, my bad,"
Nope.
and just I refuse to apologize. I refuse to use the words "I'm sorry." I don't refuse to apologize. I refuse to use the words "I'm sorry." So I'll try to go in a roundabout way, any other way I can to right the wrong.
Right.
The other thing about I can't, how can I? How do I? Rather than saying I can't do that, start saying yourself, how am I supposed to do that? How in the
Right.
hell am I supposed to do? I don't care how you do it, but say it. How am I supposed to do this? How can I do this?
Right.
Just the simple changing of the one little words. It's the biggest difference. There's this story Darren told me. I don't know if he told you this one or not about the egg, the sandwich shop with the egg. Did he tell you the story? So I don't remember what was the name of the sandwich shop. As it goes, they started running this promotion, so you can get an egg added on for like an extra, I don't know, quarter, 50 cents, whatever it was. And there was one location in particular that was outselling every other location combined. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so the company literally hired a consulting team or some research team on some team of people to come study this one location to figure out what it is. Turns up to be it's one guy. And every time on this specific guy during his shift, he's the one that's single-handedly doing the upsell and is outselling every other location combined. And it wasn't, would you like an extra egg with your sandwich? He misunderstood. He thought it was like a thing. It wasn't an optional thing. He just thought it was a thing now moving forward. So he was straight up saying to customers, would you like one egg or two? And most customers were like, I just one. I really don't want egg, but yeah, just one. So it's like by default, because he misunderstood the assignment, by default, he was just doing it. Like just made it a thing. He was the mightiest warrior out of that whole chain of business, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. You're just going to change your mindset with one simple start. You have to conquer yourself. You are your biggest hurdle. Your biggest hurdle in your life is your doubt, your personal doubt. If you kill your personal doubt, you become the mightiest warrior. You conquered yourself.
Right.
And then like Pinky in the Brain, you try to take over the world.
Well, right along those lines, I used to work with this guy, Leo. He was a stylist, and Leo was Hispanic. But he used to tell people, I'm a Mexican. I'm not a Mexicant. But that was his mindset. You know what I mean? That was his mindset. You know, and he would tell his clients, no. I'm a Mexican. I'm not a Mexican. You know, when they wanted something. And that was his mindset. There was nothing that he would not conquer. It was truly, truly. And watching him operate his chair. I mean, he used to openly admit it. He goes, I'm about a grade B hair cutter, but I'm a grade A hair styler. And I mean, his blow dries were freaking beautiful. You know what I mean? And it was really cool. But that saying always ran around in my head was I'm a Mexican. I'm not a Mexicant.
Yeah.
It was awesome. So this brings us to the end of another week. Next week we'll be back regular time. We will have our better halves with us. And we'll be at the closing bell of 2024 holiday season.
I think we got one more after next week.
Boy,
I got to look at a calendar, but I think there's one more after that. Yeah, but either way,
there is one more. You're right. Right, we're going to be the Friday after Christmas. That's right.
Yeah,
okay,
buddy. So, what do you guys think of this later time on Fridays? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
you like it? It doesn't matter. It doesn't make a difference. We're just trying something different.
Yep,
wanted to change it up a little bit. We'll go from there.
All right, guys. Thank you, and we'll see you next week. We appreciate all of you.
The SFTB podcast was not recorded in front of a live studio audience, so thanks for joining us for today's episode. If our hair topics made you smile, give us a thumbs up. Drop your thoughts in the comments. We'll read them while waiting for our caller to process. Share this video with your stylists and friends. It helps us make a difference, one strand at a time. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Because your hair deserves all the latest and greatest tips.